Okay. Oh, my opinion. A little tired. Got into the house yesterday. About 10 o'clock last night. Had a couple shots of Crown. Had a couple Coronas. This is my backyard. Those are the big houses on the hill. Oh, fingers in the way. Oh, guess I need to turn it around. Anyway, that's my house. Truck driving and making money. Pretty simple. If you're fucking happy with the money you're making and the way your company treats you, then you're good. Pretty simple. There are good and there are bad times with any company. There's a slow season, there's a good season. Reality. If you're making the money you want to make, then okay. You know, you're making the money you want to make. Every company is going to make their cut, what they think they need to make per load. Period. If you're a company driver and you won't step up to the lease because you're not going to pay for somebody else's equipment, deal in reality. You're paying for their equipment. You're just paying more than I am. Because you're getting $900 a week. I'm making $16. You take away a third of that for taxes, and I'm still making more than you. So, you know, don't tell me that you're not going to buy somebody else's truck, because you are buying it. Period. That whole argument is stupid. The argument that you're a lease operator, I don't know. I'm so tired of the arguments. The biggest argument is, like I said, I'm not going to buy somebody else's equipment. Oh, okay. If you're a company driver, you are paying for their equipment. Period. Period. It isn't an option. It isn't, oh, I want 43 cents or 50 cents a mile and you're going to give it to me and thank you for buying that truck. Dude. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get a cigarette. You're buying the truck. Whether you're a company driver or lease operator, you're buying the truck. It's kind of like the argument with the old truck drivers that they got kids teaching kids to drive. I'm not going to argue that. They do. Companies have kids driving kids or teaching kids. And yeah, they ain't got a bunch of experience. Okay. But you know what? The rebuttal of that is, I ran into a truck driver, I don't know, it's been a year ago now. In Danville, Kentucky, something like that, I don't know. And he wanted to get my ass about being a prime driver and being a trainer. You know, and his first comment was, they got kids training kids. I said, well, I got my CDL in 96, I don't know. And he went, well, you know, they got kids training kids. And I went, okay. So, how long you been driving? 30 years. Old fat, diabetes, whatever. I said, how many people have you trained? And he told me none. I said, so why ain't you train nobody? You got all this knowledge, experience. You know, you're the shit. I'm not sleeping behind somebody else. Okay, that's fair. I said, so if you guys with 30 years driving experience won't train anybody, who's supposed to? And in all honesty, his answer was the driving schools. The driving schools don't have time to teach you how to run up cabbage or cross donor or anything like that. They're not designed for it. They're designed for profit. I mean, come on, be real. Be realistic. That's all it takes. Be realistic. So, the old guys won't train anybody, but they're going to bitch about who is training them. Don't make no sense. The old guys, and now, the old guys, I'll consider myself one of them at this point. I started driving in 96. Most people that are going to watch this video weren't born then, and that's okay. I'm 61. I'm 61. I'm in good health. I just did a DOT physical yesterday. No high blood pressure, nothing. Okay? Most truck drivers that have been out here as long as I have, I don't know, are going to tell you the new drivers are like, the new breed. You're not the new breed. When I started driving in 96, I was called the new breed. So that don't mean shit. The guys that I started driving with, I was 40. Yeah, so the guys I started driving with were probably younger than me for the most part. The real drivers. Yeah. And now they're like 50, 60 years old like I am. And let me tell you, they still bitch about the same shit they bitched about when I was new. This new breed of drivers. There isn't a new breed of drivers, they're just new drivers. That's all. They don't have the experience like they do. And when they were bitching about them then, they just didn't have the experience. Now I have the experience. Do what you're doing. If you got a company that treats you right, don't buy off into the family bullshit, because you're not family. You're a driver. You're a number. Period. These companies that sit there and go, oh, big enough to get the miles, but small enough to know your name. They give a fuck less about your name. Just the way it is. If you're not producing a profit, you're out of there. They don't care how much family. It's a joke. The family thing is a joke. It's a job. Whether you're a lease operator, an owner operator, it is a job. And if you're not producing, you're done. Pretty simple. You're done. You know, you can sit there and talk to me all day long about I'm not hauling a load because I'm a lease operator, an owner operator, that pays less than. Let me give you a good example. I'm a trainer. My partner's a trainer. We run about 5 weeks and go home for a week. All year long. Both of us. The only real difference in us is he runs 65 and I run 58 to 62 miles an hour. Okay? So I run a little bit slower than he does. We run students about the same amount of time out of the year, blah, blah, blah. You know, it don't matter. Yeah. But at the end of the year, two years ago, my gross income was $8,000 above his. Year before last, I was at 10, and I'm not real sure, but it looks like I'm about $20,000 ahead this year. And like I said, we run at the same amount of time on the road, all that shit, you know, 5 weeks out, 7 days home. Yeah, I got a little bit of advantage because I get better fuel mileage than he does. But he argues about freight rates. I don't. I just move freight. My theory is if I'm sitting, it costs me money. His theory is if I go from the East Coast to the West Coast and I get there 4 hours earlier, then I got 4 more hours I can run. Okay. But the cost of doing that apparently doesn't really work out. I don't know. It's up to y'all. Trucking is a strange creature. And my point, going back to the beginning of this, is if you're happy with the company you're at, don't let other motherfuckers tell you you're not. Stay where you're at. Bye-bye now.